It's over to our tail of the tape, and we can see 27-year-old Rosholt is younger, 2 inches taller, and fights with a 2.5-inch reach advantage. To get things rolling, here's Andy Friedlander.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to 3 rounds in the UFC heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a well-rounded mixed martial artist with a professional record of 16 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, and 1 no contest. He stands 6 feet tall and weighed in at 248 pounds. Fighting out of Warsaw, Poland, Daniel Omielańczuk! And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. This man is an accomplished wrestler with a professional record of 9 wins and 1 loss. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighed in at 240 pounds. Fighting out of Arlington, Texas, USA, Jared, the Big Show, Rosholt. When the action begins, the referee in charge of the octagon is Mark Goddard.
Mark Goddard is the referee. We are all set for 3 5-minute rounds in the heavyweight division.
Ready? Ready? Let's do this.
A slap of hands to get us started. Daniel Omielańczuk in the black shorts with Jared Rosholt in the orange.
There's that left kick of Omielańczuk. You've got to watch out for that because he throws it high and low, and every single one he throws has got power.
Yeah, really good head kicks in the locker of Daniel Omielańczuk.
Ooh, good straight right from Rosholt there.
Very good right hand indeed against the southpaw from Poland. Expect to see more of the power hand coming through the defences as we have an orthodox versus southpaw matchup.
Really plays into Omielańczuk's favour with his left kick being the power one. Oh, there's a shot straight away and straight down to the ground for Rosholt.
Lovely turn there on the shot to bring this one down to the mat.
Is that wrestling paying off? He's got his head caught at the moment, but I don't think it's going to be much of a problem. He doesn't look in too much trouble.
9 submission victories for Daniel Omielańczuk. But Jared Rosholt just seems very content to sit in this position.
I don't think he feels at all threatened. In fact, this might even give him the guard pass that he's looking for.
Well, his coach, Mark Lemon, really hates seeing fighters sit in negative positions, perhaps in the guard, and he wants to see a pass into the mount and perhaps even side control.
Yeah, see, the problem is at heavyweight, when you've got a guillotine caught in like that and you've not necessarily got it cinched in, you can waste a lot of energy, and early on in the fight, it might be a mistake that he's making here, holding on to that.
And Rosholt is looking to use some softening blows to loosen that grip on his right leg to perhaps pass.
Knowing the wrestling of Rosholt, I'm sure Omielańczuk's prepared for this in the gym before arriving in Abu Dhabi. That's exactly where Rosholt wants this fight. He can chip away his opponent, wear him down, and then possibly look for that big knockout later on when he's fatigued and his hands are heavy.
So Rosholt looks content to be working from the half-guard position. Looking now to isolate that right arm. But Omielańczuk was smart to that.
The other thing as well you've got to bear in mind is, you've got a good wrestler like this, you can put you on your back, but got Mark Lehman in his corner, who's a grappling wizard, really respected by many in the grappling community. So we know that he's getting some good submission training and some good coaching from his corner team.
Very clear instructions coming from the team takedown corner.
See a little bit of blood at the moment, Joe. I'm not sure where that's coming from. It's possibly coming from Rosholt.
I believe it is. Some short elbows from the bottom seem to have done a little bit of damage.
We're really seeing half guard as a dangerous position to be caught in MMA. It's quite a secure position to hold your opponent, particularly for a good wrestler. can tuck that leg and hold him down there and chip away at him.
This is the perfect position for such an accomplished wrestler, isn't it, Dan?
It is, it is. It takes hardly any energy from the top position, and he can keep chipping away with shots and just keep doing damage and winning points.
Money in the bank, I think that's what they call that.
Money in the bank. Looking to get some space for some big shots
now. As Rosholt looks to open up. Quite a few fans travelling over for him, perhaps some expats from the US of A here giving him some good support.
I'm surprised we're not seeing anything from Omielańczuk trying to get up here. He doesn't want to waste the round here, he doesn't want to waste the fight in this position, because it'd be very disappointing for him to lose a decision from inactivity from the bottom. Looking for that Kimura again, perhaps even Americana.
Yeah, looking to isolate the left arm of Daniel Omielańczuk, but using it as a disguise also to land some strikes. It's good to see this dimension from Jared Rosholt. Oh, and a nice knee there as well, as he gets an opportunity to advance his position.
Omielańczuk looking to get up, but Rosholt's wrestling is a little bit too much for him right now. He's very, very concise with his striking, John. He's picking those shots, nothing wasted.
Yeah, good accuracy there from the American as we head into the last 10 seconds of round number 1.
Some nice elbows there that he's been chipping away with as well.
You're too quick. Your right hand's all day. Let the right hand go. Don't wait. Hook cross down the middle. You scored it every time you threw it.
So let's take a look at the action from that first round. Some great work from Rosholt.
Yeah, very, very quick for a heavyweight as well, and we're just hearing his corner team employing him to use that again, and there's the wrestling pedigree right there. Beautiful turn on a penny rear there and put him on his butt.
Well, the lovely Carly Baker letting us know that we are all set for round number 2. And the heat and humidity here in Abu Dhabi may play a factor in this fight, Dan, as these heavyweight guys are going to be more affected, surely,
There's the
by
shot
those
again.
kind of conditions.
Good takedown defense from Omielańczuk here. Really nice.
Nice turn out there from Jared Rosholt to get his head free.
The deeper this fight goes, John, the more difficult it's going to be for Rosholt to get that takedown. But there he goes, there he goes.
I really like the way
ground.
that he dropped his left and reached through with his left hand there for the single.
It's almost automatic with the amount of experience that Rosholt's got on the wrestling mat. It's almost automatic transitioning from one takedown to another and really mixing it up to catch somebody with less wrestling experience out, as he's done there.
And the team takedown corner providing some commentary there for us.
Yeah, great coaching from Mark Lehman, warning his fighter about Omielańczuk possibly kicking off the fence and looking to create a scramble there.
Jared Rosholt just so heavy in this position.
Very good at spreading his weight and keeping it all based on his opponent, making it very difficult and very tiring at heavyweight as well to keep trying to get back up, and having such a big boy on top of you keep bullying you back down to the mat.
And this is really not a good position for Daniel Omielańczuk. He's got to be looking at finding new ways in which to get back to his feet.
Yeah, and the more time he spends here, the more pressure there is on him to do something on the feet when he does get back to it. As we saw from his last fight, you know, he did get that stoppage in the third round, but he doesn't want to keep banking on that every time. He's got to get back to his feet, or at least start to threaten a sweep or a submission from the bottom.
So diligent work here from Jared Rosholt. Sneaking through a nasty elbow, following it up with a big right hand as well. Not huge power shots, Dan, but they're certainly, each one is just chipping away at his opponent and also scoring points.
It's enough, it's enough. And the thing is as well, if you can start mixing up your power and be smart with your energy expenditure, you can land a few light shots, and when your opponent relaxes a little bit, feels he can take them, you can land that big shot that's gonna do the damage.
I like the way he's also mixing in the knee to the body as well. He's done that a couple of times.
Yeah, the knee to the body we're starting to see a lot more. That was a beautiful elbow there on the inside.
Yeah, really starting to have a bit more success with clean strikes in this ground and pound is Rosholt.
Omielańczuk must have some thick skin on his forehead to be withstanding those shots. Marc Goddard employing him to stay busy on the ground.
And do you think the heat out here, Dan, is creating a lot more perspiration on these guys earlier on, which actually is allowing Rosholt to maneuver his body around and not get locked down?
Yeah, yeah, and it's going to be very difficult for Omielańczuk to get any purchase and get back to his feet. He's stuck in a front headlock position right now. Hopefully he can turn. Oh, that was a big knee to the body. That's going to hurt.
That's just echoed around the Do Arena.
Right in his corner as well with Mark Lehman there. That's got to be a benefit to him, be able to hear his coach, a familiar voice from every day in training camp.
Well, Jared Rosholt hadn't previously been presented with an opportunity to compete so far from home, but he is impressing tonight.
Definitely making the most of this opportunity, and this would be a good second win for him in the octagon.
Well, they're back to their feet, and this is very much Omielańczuk's territory. Let's see what he's got. We know he can come back strong.
He looks very tired, John. He looks very tired after almost 2 rounds of being held down and beaten up.
Both fighters are showing signs of fatigue. Oh. And now there's a counter left there from Omielańczuk. Oh, and a big right.
Rosholt looked hurt for a second. Wow. Pulled guard. That surprises me.
Keeping it exciting there was Omielańczuk, but I'm not sure how that's going to really play into his favour going back down to the mat. Maybe it was just momentum and fatigue, Dan, that led to the position.
Maybe, but this is going to put a lot of pressure on him to do something big in the 3rd round. I think after that first punch that he landed there, he's going to know that he can hurt his opponent, and that might have given him a little bit of confidence. He might be taking this moment to have a breathe, or he might even think that he can be offensive from his guard here. I know he has got 9 submission wins on his record, so we can't count that out. Be very, very difficult to submit a guy as thick and broad as Rosholt, though, and a guy that's got such a good base, and there's a lot of perspiration on these guys, a lot of moisture.
Final moments here in the 2nd round.
Perhaps looking for a Kimura.
From the Do Arena.
Watch the back of the head. Last time. Stop. Twice. All count. Watch the back of the head. I'm not going to tell you again.
Nie bij po tyle głowy, bo bijesz tył głowy. Wodę? To, co zrobiłeś, teraz to weszło. Skracasz, prawy, tylna ręka, przednia ręka. Albo zaczynasz przednią ręką, albo tylną ręką. Albo idziesz tą, albo tą, ale cały czas uciekasz na prawą stronę, schodzisz.
Beautiful knee there, very smart to use that strike there. Not a lot of danger in throwing knees to the body up against the fence on the ground there. And that was the shot that hurt Rosholt there. Rocked him, made him take a second and step away. At least we know that Omielańczuk knows he's got the power now.
Well, these two guys spending every moment, or certainly Daniel Omielańczuk was spending every moment on his stool. Jared Rosholt was actually back to his feet. Interesting point just to note there, Dan, that referee Marc Goddard did give a warning for some illegal strikes to the back of the head. You are not allowed to strike to the back of the head, let alone with an elbow.
Oh, that was a big knee. A big Muay Thai knee from Omielańczuk, and he's back down on the floor again. Straight to half guard. Easy guard pass there for him.
And you can see that Daniel Omielańczuk is so very natural with the striking, but I just don't think he's got it in the gas tank to really do anything with it. There was no movement on the back of that to land the knee, maybe lateral movement to get off an angle and just stay out of the way of this wrestler.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that he's on his back again. He's really got a hell of a feat to get back to his feet, and there we go. There's mount for Jared Rosholt.
Really bad position now for Omielańczuk.
Takes the back. Oh no, he lets go of it. Obviously prefers the dominant wrestling and ground and pound that he's having success with. trying to circle his opponent onto his back and keep tagging him with those short jabbing punches. Another knee to the body there.
Well, we know from seeing the debuts of both of these fighters that they don't have any quit in them. They will keep going despite fatigue and when things aren't going their way. But certainly Jared Rosholt is now ascending through the time left on the clock and looking very impressive.
Yeah, another short elbow there. Not going to do a lot of damage, but really going to frustrate his opponent and fatigue him, slow him down, and just frustrate him. He's very, very good at transitioning around the human body, as you can see. He knows exactly the mechanics of how to break it down and put it back on the mat in exactly the spot that he wants it.
Well, Omielańczuk is almost flattened out, both belly down and onto his back.
I like that hand over the mouth to disrupt the breathing and then drop an elbow behind it. Very creative. This to me,
if Jared Rosholt could just find some explosive power,
yeah,
he could really try and push himself and make an impression on this contest. Maybe get a finish.
Yeah, he's got that right arm of Omielańczuk tied up now. That's gonna really make it difficult to cover his face and stop those strikes getting through, as we can see. Not a good position for Omielańczuk here.
Well, suffocating pressure here from Jared Rosholt as we count down the final 2.5 minutes of the third and final round.
This looks to me like a perfect team takedown game plan coming into fruition. This is bread and butter wrestling and ground and pound. Very familiar to the Hammer House style that we saw back in the day.
Yeah, good transitions now from Jared Rosholt. He's trying to find new angles in which to strike. Look for the crucifix a few moments ago.
It's very difficult for someone that's not been in this position to understand how exhausting it is to have someone that can ride you like this on the ground. Every time Omielańczuk turns, Rosholt just pivots and adjusts his body weight and keeps that centralized on him to keep him on the mat.
And Omielańczuk is quite literally wearing Jared Rosholt.
That was a very, very easy guard pass there, slid straight through. Omielańczuk looks like he's running out of gas pretty quick.
And it's very much a process of attrition here as we see Jared Rosholt opting for less power shots but a higher volume.
Yeah, money in the bank, John. It all counts. It all counts. You can't discount the effect of all these small shots that he's landing. Every time you get hit by your opponent, it takes your breath away, it makes you contract and freeze up for a second, and that in itself is exhausting. On top of the fact that he's trying to get up with a 250-pound guy on top of him.
And even as he tried to get up, I mean, it's just some basics there, like he didn't have the underhook, and as he's sliding round, his body's just going all the way back down to his belly.
Yeah, Rosholt's wise to all of this. He's trying to get that arm trapped. Looks like he's going to try and pin that right arm to. Oh, he's managed to get it out. We could see him working for a crucifix here. Maybe a north-south choke. We know he's got some submissions in his bag.
30 seconds left. Can Rosholt change from more control into submission?
Front punch, front punch.
He's taking his time with this. What does he need to do here, Dan, to make this stick?
He's really got to get the armpit underneath the chin and really separate that chin from Omielańczuk's chest to put pressure on his windpipe. Looks like he's going to last out the round, though.
Yes, indeed. Not a very explosive end to that contest. But Jared Rosholt did some very, very good work through the rounds. He did exactly what he needed to do strategically in getting it down to the mat, using his wrestling skills, avoiding the striking ability of Daniel Omielańczuk, and he executed that perfectly.
We did. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes from now. I know they've got a good bunch of coaches at Team Takedown. I'd like to see him build on his game a little bit, and perhaps not rely so much on his takedowns.
Here's a look at some of his best work then.
Really, really good pivots in there. And a nice single leg here, drops his opponent to the ground, passes guard immediately, and those knees to the body, John, they take a hell of a lot out of you. Beautiful, mixing up the takedowns, keeping his opponent guessing. Very, very good.
Well, deep breaths there from Daniel Omielańczuk. Jared Rosholt on his feet and feeling confident. It is in the hands of the judges. However, I think that we've all followed that fight, seeing Jared Rosholt in the ascendancy. So only a few more moments to wait before the judges' scorecards are gathered, and we'll send it right back inside the octagon to Andy Friedlander.
After 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges have scored the bout in favor of the winner by unanimous decision, Jared "The Big Show" Rosholt.